Hello and welcome back to everybody on the Football Zone and to a weekend previewing the Premier League games this week. But before that, we're going to review how the English teams got on in Europe this week. And for Arsenal, it was disappointment, crashing out against PSG 2-1 in the Champions League, 3-1 on aggregate. And yeah, they had a strong start, but it was Ruiz who gave PSG the lead, and he doubled it after Coutinho missed the penalty. And by that point, it was all over. Saka did pull one back, had a great chance as well to get another, being in, they couldn't take it. And yeah, Arsenal, I think while they did partake in a lot of games, were competitive, they just in the end didn't have the quality. PSG have been outstanding in the comp so far, and they go through. But yeah, another trophy this season for Arsenal, hugely disappointing for them. But Manchester United and Tottenham, without real dramas, went through pretty easily. And yeah, what a final that's going to be, with a Champions League based on the line to kind of resolve both of their disappointing seasons. That's going to be an incredible match. And Chelsea also unsurprisingly through to the Conference League final against Betis, where you'd say they'd be pretty strong favourites. So yeah, still got two English finals and yet one all-English one, so very exciting. Before that though, we've got Premier League action this weekend, starting off with Fulham against Everton at Craven Cottage. And yeah, this is an intriguing game, big game for Fulham, who will be looking for that Conference League spot as long as Crystal Palace don't win the FA Cup. And yeah, 2 points off Bournemouth, but I guess having the advantage of playing first will really benefit them here. So yeah, it's going to be an intriguing one against Everton side, who don't really have much to play for now, you'd say, really. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I think Fulham will have the quality at home to get the win here. I'm going to say 2-1. Moving on into Ipswich against Brentford at Portman Road. And yeah, Ipswich coming into this one on a bit of a disappointing run of form though, but I think they'll be looking to end their first season in the Premier League, obviously going down, but I wouldn't be surprised if they go straight back up again on a bit of a high. Brentford on a really good run, but I just feel like Ipswich could take some momentum from that game we saw against Everton last week. I don't know, they've got a bit of fight about them, that Ipswich squad, don't they? So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, this one, but I feel it could be a draw here. I'm going to say 1-1. Brentford obviously in good form though. But moving on into Southampton against Man City, and yeah, surely this match will be one that only heads in one direction. Southampton in awful form. Man City really picking up as they so often do towards the end of the season. Unfortunately for them, it's far too little too late to really mount a title charge. But yeah, they're looking good for a top 5 spot now, aren't they? Southampton, of course, long relegated. I do think they're a bit more defensively solid since Russ came in, but nowhere near enough. You'd still expect a very comfortable 3-0 win for City here. Moving on into Wolves against Brighton at Molineux. And yeah, Wolves coming into this one, obviously on a really solid run of form. Obviously were defeated by Man City in the last game, but before that we're doing really well. For Brighton now, I think they'll be disappointed. They have picked up 4 points from the last few games, but before that their form was a bit mixed. And they're still right in amongst the European battle, but 10th at the moment. They'll be really looking to get that position higher. But Wolves, with the form they're in at the moment, will be a really tough game for them. And I'm going to say Wolves at home. They're looking so strong at the moment, could come away with a 2-1 win. Bournemouth take on Aston Villa at the Vitality Stadium, and yeah, Bournemouth gone on a run where they really needed it. Unbeaten in 5, and yeah, I think it's just about turning some of those draws into wins. But back in that 8th spot with great news for them, and they'll definitely be looking forward to really going to get a win here and cement their chances. But Villa's still very much in the Champions League, Europa League race as well. So it's a massive game for them too. They're going to be right up for it, and I think Villa will get a much needed win here. 2-1 for me. Moving on into Sunday's games, and starting off with Newcastle against Chelsea at St James's Park. And yeah, this is another intriguing one, and yeah, one that you feel could go either way, I guess. I think Newcastle though, St James's Park, over the course of this year, they've been in such strong form. It's tough to get against them, but Chelsea have got 5 wins on the trot as well, so they're absolutely flying as well. Both looking good for a Champions League space. I think it's a game that both teams are targeting not to leave, but I just feel like home advantage could be crucial. Moving on into Manchester United against West Ham at Old Trafford. And yeah, Manchester United will be delighted they've reached the Europa League final. That'll be the focus for them and Tottenham at the moment. But yeah, taking on the West Ham side, of course, themselves have a very disappointing season. Very disappointing seasons for both these teams, really, in the league this year. So yeah, it's going to be an intriguing one to see which way it goes here. I'm going to say it'll be a 2-0 win for Manchester United. I think at home they'll have too much for them. Moving on into Forest against Leicester. And yeah, this is a big game for Forest. I mean, their top 4 hopes only 2 points off. It's not over yet, but you probably say they are clinging by a thread now. It's just they've lost form at the worst possible time, really, haven't they? And that's seems to have massively affected them. But Leicester, of course, long relegated, did pick up a win against Southampton. It'd be interesting to see if they can kind of put that in against better teams. I'm not so sure, but we'll see here. But I think Forest should really get back to winning ways here. Moving on into Tottenham against Crystal Palace at White Hart Lane. And yeah, this is another interesting one. Tottenham coming into this one, obviously off the back of that win against Bodo Glimt, they'll be absolutely delighted making the final. But sat in 16th place, what a miserable season it's been for them. I think, Crystal Palace in 12th will be really looking to get a win here. Their Conference League hopes aren't all but over, but it's pretty much the FA Cup focus for them, isn't it? So yeah, two teams with their focus elsewhere. I'm going to say it'll be a 2-0 Tottenham win. Moving on into Liverpool against Arsenal at Anfield, and yeah, first versus second. What a mouth-watering prospect this game could have been a few weeks ago, but obviously it kind of feels like a dead rubber now. Arsenal need a bit of work to do to finish in second, but I think they should do. But Liverpool, title favourites. I think it would just be a big celebration. Be intriguing to see if they do the Guard of Honour as they walk on. Who knows? But Arsenal, it's not been how ideal end to the season for them. They'll be looking to get a win here, but I just think Liverpool at home, they will have the momentum. I'm going to say 2-1 win for
guys,
them.
that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe. Follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now. That'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.